Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Jack of All Trades. I'm your host, Jack Allen, and today we're going to visit a few of the other parks that we didn't do on our first episode. The first episode that we did included Village Green, Simmons, and Miners Field. Today we're going to be going to Millennium Field, and we're going to hit a couple of the neighborhood parks. So stay tuned and look what Bethel Park is doing for you and the recreation. Okay, our first stop today is Millennium Park. This is our premier field in Bethel Park. I'm with Chuck Stover and Jim Gascab. Chuck is in charge of recreation. Jim is the president of the recreation board. So this used to be an old soccer field, but now they've turned it into a beautiful park. So if you can just tell us a little bit about the renovations that there's going on up here.
Mr. Mayor, we put in a turf infield on this baseball field that will house kids from both baseball organizations, from T-ball all the way up to 12 years old and under. Will be the highest age bracket. So it looks great. It's a big improvement from the multi-purpose field that was here previously. So
now that field we moved over to Village Green, and that's for soccer and lacrosse.
Yes, we have a full turf field over at Village Green too for soccer and lacrosse. So.
Okay. And Jim, you are obviously a big part of this because you're the president of the rec board. So just tell us a little bit about your input for this whole park.
Sure. If you look around, and I know you've done a few of these park tours, another turf field. So to be able to have the infield turf field here is going to obviously help with the drainage when we get our inclement weather, which we're almost like today, like we're known to have. So, and I think Chuck mentioned it. Really, what our goal is to, and we're striving to get there, is to have sports-specific parks. Mm-hmm. So, baseball is obviously here. We've been to Simmons and some of the other parks along your tour, and I think you're seeing that we're designating the field to be a certain sport. Where in years past, like it was multi, so we're kind of getting to that point.
Okay, so you actually have 4 different fields, and I'm assuming they're 4 different size fields. So what age groups are you able to accommodate?
We can accommodate 12 and under on this field. The Millennium Small Field down by Baptist Road is 12 and under. The middle field is softball, adult softball, and pony league, like 13 to 15 and 16, 17, and then the large field is 18 and above, or 16, 17. We accommodate both of those age groups on both fields, depending on the league structure and what size field they want them to play on.
Okay. And for people that's been up here in the past, this is the same field that we used to have our summer spectacular on. And just by looking around, it's hard to believe that we're standing in the same place. So we've done a lot up here. If you can just let us know what else is going on, what other new...
We put a new playground in. It got installed last year. And we converted the Public Works building to a concession stand and built a new Public Works building for storing their tractors and the supplies they need for up here.
Okay. Now, who would run the concession stand once they're
the
open?
Baseball organizations, BBA or BCL. They're working together and they'll run a concession stand up here.
Okay, so whenever their teams are playing, one of the parents or volunteers will actually be running the concession stand.
Correct.
Okay.
We also have the multi-sports court as you come in on the Baptist side as well for basketball and really almost anything they can play in that court area as well.
Okay, and people should recognize that this is the place that the pickleball may be here in the near future, which would be down, from what I understand, down at the entrance or close to the entrance to the park.
That's correct, yep.
It'll be down at the entrance of Baptist, that pathway to the roadway that the contractors use for storage. When we get everything, the grants and everything, that will be converted to pickleball courts down there.
Okay, so all renovations to this whole park, how much are we talking about? What did we spend to develop this?
I honestly couldn't tell you that answer.
Okay.
I know a lot of it was grant driven as well, so
Right.
a lot of the years of planning is in addition to that as well. So
Yeah, one thing Bethel was good for is trying to find other people's money to help us improve. And our rec department has just been so great. What we've done in the last 5-6 years has been phenomenal.
I mean, even if you go back 5 or 6 years, to have 2 turf fields in the municipality, Village Green being the first, now this being the second. I mean, who would ever thought that? You know?
Right.
So we're just continue to progress in the right direction.
Okay, and this will be the largest complex that we'll be looking at today. And one thing the council did put an emphasis on is the neighborhood parks, and we'll be hitting a few of those also. So if we can just take a walk around and show you what your new Millennium Park looks like. Okay, one thing you'll notice about all of our parks in Bethel Park is the playground equipment is totally different. So Chuck, can you tell us a little bit about how we get the playground equipment that we do?
Sure, we get 4 proposals from different bidders, and from that, staff looks at them, picks the 2 best, and from there we take it to the community, and the community picks it. So the community picked this one, and the unique feature on this one is the climbing net and the net going across from the slides. This is a neat playground, and it has the Beeb app, which is an app parents can download on their phone, and they can tell how much exercise their kids get just running up and down and
Yeah.
playing. And that's great. The kids are having fun, and they don't realize they're getting exercise.
So before you build any of the playgrounds, you go to the local neighbors
Correct.
and let them know. Do you have a meeting with them and then make proposals, and that's how they pick?
At Miners, we had a meeting. At this one, we sent flyers out, and I think they voted online for their apps
Okay.
or for their playground.
Okay, which is great because they can't complain about it because they picked it.
At Miners, the kids picked it, and maybe that's what the parents did with
Yeah.
the kids here too. They showed them the designs and let the kids pick it, because at Miners, we had a town hall meeting style, and we went and we said to the parents, "Well, which one you want?" And they said, "Let the kids pick. They're going to play on it," and they
True.
did. So.
True.
I think that's a great point too, because you get the community involved. What a great concept, and then they take ownership of it. You know,
Right.
so it's something that they developed. And if you look, I mean, I don't know. Every time we do these, and every time I'm at one of the parks, they seem like they're trying to outdo each other. You know what I mean? The equipment's unbelievable here. So, just a great addition to Millennium for sure.
I tell you what, playgrounds have come a long way since we were kids. I grew up, it was over asphalt, aluminum slides,
And you had a little seesaw or whatever, and that was it.
Well, in the seesaw, it didn't have like spring loaded. If you wanted to be a jerk, you jumped off when you were on the bottom, and the other guy come flying down.
Well, well, that's true. That's true. Swings, and that was it.
Yeah, swings,
Now you can spend a whole day here.
monkey bars, and seesaw was about it, and that was it.
Yeah.
Where I
And
grew
we'll
up.
notice from the other 2 parks that we go to today, it'll look totally different than this one.
Yeah, well,
So, okay, thank
right.
you. All right, one thing you'll notice here at Millennium Park is the banners that go around the field. So if you can just let us know a little bit about the banner program, and I understand it's not just this field.
there's banners at 4 fields: Millennium, Park Avenue, Village Green, and Simmons Park. And we get sponsorships from local businesses mostly for for all 4 fields for 2 years. It's like $600. It's a great bargain. A lot of advertisement, just not in Bethel, but you get kids from the South Hills and other parts of Pennsylvania here playing. So it's a great deal. And the money that we generate from this, the net revenue, goes into an account for facility improvements, for fields, for concession stands. So
Yeah, a lot of times when projects such as this gets finished, there's always some things that maybe you didn't remember or thought of as the program went on. So a lot of the funds that we use could go back into some improvements to a local park such as this.
Okay. How many banners? Do you have any idea how many are up?
I think there's like 40 at this field and close to that at Park Avenue as well.
The other ones, yeah.
Yeah, so it's really God. I think 2008 was our first year doing this, so to be able to add two fields, this being one of the older ones actually, this in Park Avenue, has been great because it's revenue that goes back into
Right.
field improvements, and we like to get obviously give back to improvements to the parks. But to Chuck's point earlier, what a great way to get your name out, like your business name, because there's just hundreds of spectators during the course of a season that get to see your business and your phone number and hopefully visit and buy at your facility.
Yeah. And what's also nice is the banners face out.
Yeah.
So the people that are playing between fields or walking up the sidewalk or even the playground see the advertisement. It's not just the players and whoever's sitting in the dugout. So it's a great program.
We'll credit Chuck with that. That was a good idea.
I won't take all the credit. The rec board really worked hard on this. Public Works does a great job getting them up. It's a team effort, so.
Yeah, Public Works is used to doing banners, not just these banners, but the military banners and the seasonal ones. So,
Yep.
okay, thank you.
All right.
Okay, our first stop for our neighborhood parks is at Oak Tree, which is by the high school off of Summit. The Recreation Board and Council have put a lot of money into not just the main fields or the main parks, but the neighborhood parks. So, Chuck, tell us a little bit about what this used to look like before and what's changed.
This was part of a larger project. They, going back to the flood in 18, they did a stormwater management in the park, and at the same time we upgraded all the parks. It used to be a wooden pavilion back there and maybe a quarter of the playground equipment. And we talked to the neighbors and they said hardly anyone uses the pavilion, so took the pavilion out and we got a lot more equipment in, and we put a shade structure up at the top here.
Okay. And we'll talk a little bit about the playground, because obviously the last one we saw at Millennium is totally different than this one. And then again, the neighbors
Yeah,
picked out what type of playground equipment they wanted.
With this one, the neighbors actually picked a color. We had the bright colors going in here, the orange and the blue, like up at the other parks. And the neighbors said no, they wanted to make it look aesthetically like you're at the woods. So they picked the colors.
And again, I think that's what's unique when you get the neighborhood involved. You're seeing different structure, different playground equipment at each park, and it really gives it a lot of character.
Okay. Now this is the first neighborhood park that we're visiting today. We're going to do one more, but how many neighborhood parks do we have?
7, I believe.
And they'll all be restructured and
At some
and
point.
upgraded.
Yeah, at some point, yes.
Okay, so that's the rec board and council
And
direction is to improve
Yeah.
all the neighborhood parks, because this particular one is right in the middle of a neighborhood. So I'm sure the people here use this or will use it quite a bit. You also have a baseball field over here. Tell us a little bit about that field.
the baseball field BBA uses for T-ball and some coach pitch games. That's the only size it can hold. But they get a lot of people down here for those kids' games.
Okay.
And we can't walk away
Yeah.
before we talk about this
Yeah. And one of the unique features is the Gaga Ball pit here at Oak Tree Park. And what Gaga Ball is it's like four square and dodgeball combined. You got to hit the ball at each other, and if you get hit, you're out. That's the simplest way to explain it. A lot of the younger kids love it. As you can see, there's a lot of
There's a lot of marks on the wall, so they're
Yeah.
definitely using
they're
it.
definitely using
a
it.
safer version than what we were used to playing
Yeah.
back in the day, right?
It could be safer, but you're awfully close too. And the pavilion, or we don't have a pavilion here, but the structure that we built, just tell us a little bit about that.
The reason why we went with the structure up here is if you have an older kid playing baseball, you can sit over here, watch him or her play baseball, and your younger kid can get on the playground. You can keep an eye on both of them.
Right.
So that's,
And I noticed that Well, you have the playground equipment there, but you also have a set of swings on the other side. So,
Yeah, I think there was 2 or 3 swings here before. Now we have 5 swings. Up there you have a tot swing and a special needs swing, and I forget what the other swing's called, but you have 5 swings over there, and you have a 2-person rider swing down there, and a like a tire swing down there.
okay. So the park has a baseball field. It has swings, playground equipment. So this is just what we're searching for to put in the neighborhoods.
Yeah, and at this park we updated the basketball hoops too. If you take a look.
That's what I was just gonna say too. The basketball hoops, one of what 3 parks I think that have the basketball courts. Four total.
Millennium, Simmons, and Miners.
Yeah, so not all of them have the basketball courts. So
Okay.
another nice feature of this park.
So this is a well-rounded one with a little bit of everything.
In a small amount of area too.
Yeah.
If you look, we're basically in everyone's backyard here. There's not, quite the space as some of the other parks. So a lot going on here.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right, we are now at Birch Tree Park, and this is certainly the definition of a neighborhood park because it is totally surrounded by homes. Here we have a pavilion that, Chuck, correct me if I'm wrong, that was here.
That's been here, yes.
Okay. So what improvements have you made in this particular park?
We've updated the swing sets right here to the right, and the new playground equipment. Some of the features that it has a hanging zip line. It has the climbers you can go up sideways and get onto the, for lack of a better term, the monkey bars. Roller slide, a big tube slide and a smaller tube slide, and a spring ride with 3 components that tots can spring on.
Yeah. So this one has the, I'll call it pit colors.
Okay. I didn't think about that,
Yeah.
but okay.
So there must be some pit fans in this neighborhood. But the difference in the bright colors here and Oak Hill Park that we just came from, which was more earth tones.
Yes.
And just give us an idea as we hit these different parts. Tell us how the neighbors actually pick the actual equipment that they want.
This one at this park and Oak Tree in Millennium, we sent council people took flyers around to the surrounding neighborhood, and they voted, I think, online, if I remember correctly. And we tallied all the votes, and that's how we decided which park to put in,
Okay.
or playground equipment.
And again, you have a committee that'll take 4 or 5 different drawings or renditions of a park. The committee will pick 2 of them, and you'll send those 2 out to the neighbors
Yes.
with pictures and everything
pictures,
else.
and if we can get it, sometimes videos on there too, because they'll send video actually what some of the bigger stuff does.
Now,
so.
do you get a good response on those?
Yeah, we have gotten a good response. We've gotten a good response. When we did Miners, we actually had a town hall meeting. We had to have 50 people there at least, and 50 kids, and they picked what they wanted.
Yeah.
So.
And this one might be like the gem, because if you ask the community if they have ever been there, the majority probably were going to say no. And you have to check this one out. It's spectacular. It's really nice.
Well, it is so unique from the last one and even the Millennium Park that we were at. This is totally different. It's great. And again, the floor or the ground is made out of the chipwood,
Yeah,
just like all the other parks.
Yeah, it's made out of the engineered wood fiber, and the 3 parks we saw today all have the Bib app where you can download it and know how much your kid exercises while your kid's here, so which is
Okay.
cool.
And this one has basketball, obviously not a full
It's like a quarter
like
court.
the other one, but
Yeah.
state-of-the-art basketball hoop and what have you.
Yeah, it's like a quarter court. You can just come, local kids can come down and just shoot around and have some fun.
Okay, let's take a look at some of the particulars.
So a couple of features of the new playground equipment at Birch Tree Park here is a hanging zip line. Hold on, I'll give you a demonstration. So the kids can just hang on it, build up some of their upper body strength, and have a good time. We have a rope slide right here, which is unique. It's the only one in Bethel Park. Let me go this way. You have the climb across rope, which helps with balance for kids. And again, you have the monkey bars type things, and that helps with balance. And you have a tube slide and the regular slide. So you have a total of 3 slides on here. And there's 2 microphone hearing devices that you can talk back and forth like the old tin cans that the kids used when they were kids. So this is a neat park. There's 5 regular swings and a tot swing, the spring ride, and a quarter basketball hoop with a brand new backboard system. So we're last thing at Oak Tree, and we have 3 parks: Birch Tree, this one, Oak Tree, and Millennium have the Beeb app that we've been talking about. And how you get it is you go to either the Apple Store and download it for free, or you can get it on Google Play, and it's simple. You search Biba, pick your game, download it, and play with your child. And it'll tell you a lot of stuff what your child's done, how much energy they've used, calories, and stuff like that.
Well, that's our show for today, our neighborhood parks. And we learned a lot that a lot of the neighborhood parks are right in where the houses are. So it's definitely true neighborhood parks. But I would recommend that anyone that has seen this show, that they go out and visit those, because each one is unique. And it just shows you the commitment that Municipal Council and the Recreation Board have to upgrading all of our parks for our neighbors. So thank you again, and we will see you next month.